Jambo. Hello. Thank you for joining me for a virtual dose of vitamin Z as we bring the Detroit Zoo to you. My name is David and I'm an education specialist with the Detroit Zoological Society. So today is another day we meet for another storytelling session. This is part of the Africa Adventure Stories. And today we are looking at a very special bird. Everyone is very much associated with. And this is the flamingo. Many of anyone, if you are asked, can you draw a flamingo? And a lot of people will draw, but they will color it. They will color it pink. So the question is, where did this word flamingo come from? Have you ever asked yourself, where did it come from? Now, flamingo is a name that came from the medieval Spain. That means flamenco, like spelled as F-L-A-M-E-N-C-O, flamenco. But us who cannot pronounce the Spanish way, in Spanish, we had to call it flamingo, which was very unique in a way, and it caught up, and that's what it is. So let's start by saying that flamingos and flamenco really dancing have nothing to do with each other. Flamingo dancing usually incorporates this kind of color, especially for the ladies. Men also do, but for the ladies, this is the color that they mostly use while dancing the flamenco. Do you know how to dance flamenco? Try it. Now, for the dance itself, usually it's between two people. Like the tango. As they say, it takes two to tango. And that is the kind of dance they have. You'll always be able to tell a flamingo from other birds, of course, like nothing is that pink. Mostly it's the flamingo. So today we are traveling. I'm going to tell you an old legend about the flamingo, about how they got the color pink. But first we travel all the way to Egypt. Now when we think of Egypt, what comes to our mind? Don't we think of something like this? What do you think that is? That is the pyramid of Giza. So when you think of Egypt, and a lot of people say, oh, I have a dream, one of those in my bucket list is to go and see the pyramids. That is what we are talking about. And who built the pyramids? The pharaohs, the kings of Egypt. They're the ones who built the pyramids as the burial places, and where to store the very precious merchandise that they would be buried with. So in this country, or in this region of Egypt, which is in northern Africa, the story goes that there were no pink flamingos to stand against the blue, beautiful waters of Egypt. Only black flamingos. An ancient Egyptian pharaoh wished for something beautiful to stare at when he looked outside, when he woke up, and looking out the waters of Egypt, the lands which he owned. So he wished for something as beautiful as the sun. because it was becoming just too much. On every day he woke up, it's the sun. Every day it's the sun and the waters. But he needed more color. And now, back then in Egypt, they worshipped a god named Ra. Ra was the Egyptian god the god of sun. That is Ra, the Egyptian god. And Ra was the god of the sun, the brightness of day, the darkness of night. All of that was made by Ra according to the Egyptians. So the Pharaoh asked three of his wisest, most faithful followers, I wish to honor mighty Ra for continued success of Egypt. If you could find some way to honor the mighty God of the sun, then I will honor you with my kingdom upon my death. So the first follower, a rich merchant, stood up and said, I know the best way to honor mighty Ra. We will carve a statue of him out of gold. Then I shall give you some out of gold. The second follower, a scholar, said, we could create a garden so vibrant and beautiful that Ra would have to visit. And the Pharaoh turned to his third follower, his own daughter, and asked, and what idea do you have, my wise daughter? The daughter, still a child, had no idea. She told the Pharaoh, well, I really don't know what to say. Well, then I shall give you some time to think, said the Pharaoh. So the three of them left. So now the Pharaoh's daughter really had no idea what she was looking for. She was just there, she was just there, looking around and like, where do I start this? What do I say? This is not easy for me. In the meantime, the other wise men were busy looking around and trying to figure out, going around the ideas, hoping they are going to please the king. But then what happened is the daughter thought for hours on end about what could truly please the mighty Ra. She wondered and wondered, thinking and up and then hating all the ideas she had, until she finally admitted defeat to herself. As the time for her to present her idea drew to a close, she realized she needed help. And then an idea struck. Who else could help better than Ra himself? So the Pharaoh's daughter traveled to the temple of Ra inside the city. She, after she entered the city, she threw herself upon the altar. Mighty Ra, God of the sun, I come with a request. My father wishes to honor you and is asking for my aid in doing so. Please, how can I do this? She asked. As she did, a flamingo walked into the temple and sat right beside her. She stared at the black feathers, the black feathers right there. And she was, whoa. And she's thinking, what is this all about? So she stared at the black feathers of the flamingo. She looked up at the giant statue of Ra, the red sun floating behind his head. And an idea struck. With the flamingo behind her, she went to the market and got the pinkest dye she could find. She worked, and she quickly taking a brush and putting the dye onto the bird. By the time she finished, the bird's feathers resembled the sky at sunrise and sunset. So you can imagine, you can now see how really excited the daughter is. She brought the bird to her father, and the father said, "My daughter, this pleases me greatly. And this is so beautiful. This is beautiful pink bird. It's by far the best way to honor the mighty Ra." So, you have earned the right to inherit my kingdom. From now on, all flamingos will be pink like the one you have presented with me. The Pharaoh's daughter, knowing she had been aided by Ra himself, was thankful both to her father and Ra, for when she needed help, she asked rather than wander blindly. And that, my friends, is how flamingos first became pink. And we continue to enjoy the presence of flamingos. We continue to enjoy whenever we see the flamingos. So, coming back now, we travel back all the way to the Detroit Zoo. This is a place where we have a whole flock of flamingos of both the Chilean flamingo and the pink flamingo, as we call it, the great flamingo. Here, you will be able to see all those flamingos that they are raised there, not less than 50 to be precise. It could be more than close to 70. One big fact, we have one that is one of the oldest flamingo alive. They can live at least not less than more than 65 years. That is quite some age. And we still have, we do have some of these flamingos, and at least one of them at the zoo. So what really causes the color? One of the main colors that we get to see at the zoo that causes, not at the zoo, but why flamingos are pink, one of those is the kind of food that they feed on. And and the part of the food they feed on is, they have the blue-green algae. Others would talk of the shrimps that they feed on. But all this combination gives them the color. The more they feed on, thank you, Catherine, Sanja. We have all these, and this is why you can tell the zoo gives them all that they require. That's why the color that we see there has all the two types of flamingos. We do have the Chilean flamingo, which is more crimson, very deep kind of crimson color or pink, and the pink the greater flamingos from Africa or and all of many other continents is pink. Now we will continue to give you more of these kind of stories and many more from my colleagues. And please always, if you are available anytime at 10, at 11 o'clock, at 2 o'clock, at 4 o'clock, there is always someone online or on live giving you more doses of vitamin Z brought to you by Detroit Zoo. But for tomorrow at 11 a.m., please join our curator of education, Claire, as she delivers another clue about the zoo animals. She'll be bringing a wonderful virtual dose of vitamin Z. In the meantime, as I always tell you, kwaheri. Remember how we spell it? Kweheri, kwaheri, which means goodbye. Enjoy yourselves.